Hi, this video is to show you how to create an assignment and make sure that it's going to be added to the gradebook. So you can actually get to assignments in lots of different places. You can get it from here, Assignment Center, which will have it be connected to all of your classes, or you can just do it from a specific class. I'm in a specific class right now. Honestly, it doesn't matter, but here I am. Okay, so we're going to add an assignment. And one thing I learned a few years ago, I used to always use my French class as a way to test and make these videos. And I used to call every assignment I made testing or test. And then one day a student panicked and thought we had a test that day. So now I just say ignore this assignment. This is the title part, which has to be pretty short. The description can be longer, and you can actually even in both of these switch to HTML, which means you can embed things. You can do all sorts of fancy things. You know, you don't have to, but that's a possibility. Like if you wanted to embed a Google slideshow, you can actually do that directly in the assignment. Okay, then you're going to select an assignment type, and until you've made assignments, nothing will show up here, but you can click select from all assignment types. What this does is bring up everything, and you can see the ones that have GB next to them are the ones that are actually attached to the gradebook. So anything that's going to go in the gradebook, if you have it set up with percentages, you have to use these three in order for it to count in the gradebook. So I hope that makes sense. It doesn't mean you can't use other ones. You can certainly use other ones, but it won't calculate it in the gradebook if you've used percentages. So I'm just going to choose participation. In here, you have the option to either add it to gradebook or not. So if it's something that I'm going to grade, I would click add it to gradebook. If not, it can just be an assignment in here, and that doesn't require me to put a grade in. But let's do it as if you're going to be in the gradebook for this one. So abbreviation, it's a good idea to come up with some sort of, schema that you like for how you put in the abbreviations. I am not always that organized, but like maybe quiz 1, quiz 1.2, or 1.3, maybe that's the third quiz in the first unit, however you want to do. And then the max number of points. So here you can either do it with 100, right, and everything's out of 100, or let's say this is a smaller assignment and it's just out of 5 points. It really doesn't matter how many points it is. You just have to grade it accordingly. So we're going to do 10 points for this one. And this factor number is great for, let's say that it's a quiz, but you want it to count as 2 quiz grades. Because it's a big quiz, you could actually change this to 2. I don't know that teachers use that very often, but that's how that works. And then you're going to hit publish grade. You always want that hit. That means that it's published to whoever has access to see it, which for the lower school setup is just you. For the middle school setup is just you and maybe advisors, I'm not sure. And then for upper school, it's set for advisors and students and things like that. And then you're going to decide if it should be added to the cumulative grade or not. That's a possibility either way. Now within assignments, since you guys are new to assignments in the lower school, I'm just going to talk this through a little bit. You can add attachments, you can add links. There's also a new thing where we have Edpuzzle connected. So if you're using an Edpuzzle for your students, you can connect it directly here, which is really nice. And then a key component to what we're doing this year is we're making it so students are going to be submitting their work through SaintsNet. So everything they turn in is going to be uploaded into SaintsNet, which is going to help tremendously on the back end for you grading, tremendously for the kids and consistency on how they're turning things in. That was one of the feedback, one of the main pieces of feedback we got from both middle and upper school students, and I would guess lower school as well, is just not knowing. There were, maybe 6 or 7 different ways they were turning things in. So you can allow them to submit more than one file. So let's say they have to submit 3 pieces of work. You could put 3, however that works. And you can either allow them to resubmit until the due date or not. So either they just have to turn it in and they're done, or they can keep resubmitting until the due date. This is a possibility in here. You can either create a single instance of this assignment, or if it's something that you have that's like a weekly grade, like there's a teacher in the upper school who does a weekly participation grade. So he just creates multiple instances of his participation assignment that's due every Friday, and that's where he puts the grades in for students for that week. So that's a possibility, but certainly not required. And then you're going to put the day it's assigned. This is when it will become visible to the students. And then this is the date it's due. So I'm just going to pick a later date just for fun. And you can either publish it now, or you can set it to publish on the assigned date, or not published at all. Maybe it's something you don't want students to see yet because you don't want them to work ahead, or whatever the case may be. Generally, though, I just default to publish it now because, I don't know, that seems easier for me. Okay, and then if you have other classes in here, it should show those. So you can actually put them in more than one class at a time. All right, and then we're going to hit save. Let's see what happens. And now it will show up here. And this is what it'll look like. These are all the filters, so you can filter what assignments you see. Okay, so that's how you're going to create an assignment so that it will go in the gradebook.